The Princess and the Pea, Energetic Sensitivity and True Lineage. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11-time published author, and this is the Symbolism series. You're watching the Redacted Magic and the Fairy Tale Code subseries. This is Case Study 8, The Princess and the Pea. Most readers interpret this story as an absurdity. A girl who can't sleep because a single pea lies beneath 20 mattresses. But this fairy tale is far from nonsensical. It encodes spiritual hypersensitivity, divine lineage testing, and the physical body as a detection device for truth. This is Energetic Sensitivity and True Lineage. First published in 1835 by Hans Christian Andersen, The Princess and the Pea is deceptively short, barely a page in most editions. But as with all compressed fables, the symbolism is dense. Unlike the more violent grim tales, Andersen's stories carry mysticism in subtler, often more esoteric forms. He was known for embedding theological, moral, and metaphysical instruction inside the deceptively gentle surface of children's tales. The Princess and the Pea is one such example. Let's recall the official version. A prince wishes to marry a true princess, but cannot find one who meets his expectations. Many claim to be princesses, but he doubts their authenticity. One stormy night, a soaked and bedraggled girl knocks on the castle door, claiming to be a princess. The queen, skeptical, devises a test. She places a single pea beneath 20 mattresses and 20 feather beds. The next morning, the girl complains she had a terrible night's sleep because something hard bruised her through the layers. Her reaction proves her royal sensitivity. She and the prince marry. The end. At face value, it sounds ridiculous. But symbolically, every element is precise. Let's start with the pea. In symbolic systems, a seed, especially a pea or bean, is a unit of condensed potential. In Kabbalistic and Hermetic teachings, the seed represents the hidden truth, the source code, the origin point of power. A pea in this context is not food, it is a signal. Something small, but vibrationally active. It sits beneath layers of insulation, fabric, comfort, social expectation, and only a specific kind of being can detect it. Now examine the mattresses. There are 20. The number is not random. In numerology, 20 reduces to 2, 2 plus 0, representing duality, partnership, and testing. But 20 itself, 2 tens, can also imply complete concealment. 10 is the number of divine law, order, or structure. 2 sets of 10 layered on top of each other suggest a double veil, a protective layering over sacred truth. The fact that the test uses 20 mattresses and 20 feather beds further reinforces this. 40 total layers. And in spiritual systems, 40 is the number of trial. 40 days in the desert. 40 years of wandering. 40 days of rain in the flood. The test is a trial of truth. What's being tested isn't pain tolerance. It's energetic sensitivity. The ability to detect the pea, despite comfort, status, or appearances, is the ability to sense the hidden distortion. The discomfort represents an intuitive, somatic response to energetic disturbance. In the modern world, we would call this clairsentience, the spiritual gift of bodily knowing. In ancient initiatory societies, those who could feel what others could not were considered spiritually royal, not because of birth, but because of inner calibration. Now let's talk about the girl. She arrives at night during a storm. She is drenched, disheveled, and unrecognizable. This is symbolic. In many magical systems, spiritual royalty often arrives in disguise, not because it must, but because the systems they enter are blinded by appearances. The storm is not random weather, it is a cleansing event. The girl arrives after crossing chaotic thresholds, stripped of presentation. She enters the castle in her raw form, claiming identity based on essence, not adornment. The queen does not believe her. She doesn't say no outright. She designs a test. But the test isn't about truth, it's about validation. The queen must feel that the girl is worthy, but she can't do it through logic. So she invokes somatic verification. In ancient priesthoods, bloodline was only one form of legitimacy. The other was energetic congruence. The true sovereign, male or female, had to resonate with the realm's energetic codes. In Egypt, China, and many African systems, kings or queens would be tested in rituals involving sleep, fasting, or pain, where their response to subtle forces would reveal their nature. The girl's pain from the pea is not fragility. It is detection. Her body knows what the mind does not. She wakes with bruises, physical proof of spiritual interference. This is the lesson. The real royal is not the one who endures all burdens in silence. It's the one who feels everything, even when no one else does. The true sovereign is hyper-attuned, not immune to pain, but unable to ignore it. Let's now explore what this means symbolically. The 20 mattresses and feather beds are not just luxury. They are the layers of civilization, false security, and status that blunt perception. Most people sleep through the signals because they are cushioned by distraction, wealth, or narrative. Only the energetically awake feel the distortion, no matter how subtle, no matter how buried. This fairy tale encodes several key spiritual mechanics. Spiritual lineage is verified not by claim, but by sensitivity. Comfort blocks clarity. Over-insulation dulls discernment. Pain is a signal, not a weakness. The smallest disturbance, when not dismissed, reveals the deepest truths. Sleep is a diagnostic field. What disturbs it reflects energetic incompatibility. This tale also carries a warning. In many modern interpretations, people laugh at the idea that someone could feel a pee through 20 mattresses. But that's the point. The fairy tale is not validating the absurd. It's challenging desensitization. In a world that teaches us to get over it, toughen up, and ignore discomfort, this story honors the one who notices. The one who says, something is off, even when it's hidden under 40 layers of silence. And that's why this story survives. It teaches that not all royalty wears a crown. Some arrive soaked in rain, asking for entry, dismissed at first glance. But the true test is always vibrational. Can you feel the pea? Let's summarize the encoded symbolism in The Princess and the Pea. The pea, core truth, spiritual signal, hidden irritant, the 20 mattresses, 20 feather beds, cultural and energetic insulation. The girl, unassuming disheveled royalty, the intuitive one. The storm, purification, chaos as entrance test. The test, physical confirmation of spiritual authenticity. The result, confirmation through pain, sensitivity as sovereign marker. This is not a love story, it's a diagnostic ritual. Anderson knew what he was doing. He wasn't describing a silly princess. He was encoding a spiritual profile, the human who refuses to adapt to false comfort, who feels what others dismiss, and whose body alerts them to hidden frequencies, even when all logic says, that's impossible. We live in a world that tells us to numb ourselves, to pad our lives with layers, to ignore the small signs. But the pea will always find its way through. And the true royal, the spiritually initiated, will always feel it. Because you cannot silence the body's wisdom, and you cannot fake the frequency of truth. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas. 11 times published author and School of Soul has just released one of our most requested deep dives, the Magic and Occult series. This series is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who know there's more going on beneath the surface, behind the media, behind the family, behind the system. This series breaks the spell and hands you the map. The Magic and Occult series includes over 200 videos on 1. Entertainment or ritual. Decoding mainstream media as mass spellwork. 2. Occult families. Spot them. How generational magic and ritual lineage hides in plain sight. 3. Occult symbolism. The signs, seals, and signals used to claim, curse, or command. 4. Esoteric symbolism. Layered meaning, sacred geometry, and encoded messages. 5. Law is magic. How contracts, courts, and language are rituals of power. 6. Spells and spirits. What magic really is, and what happens when you use it. 7. Covens and lodges. Where modern ritual happens, and who's involved. 8. Destiny swapping. How rituals steal timelines, talent, or soul contracts. 9. Energy harvesting. Spiritual parasitism, and how to seal your field. 10. The clairs. Your intuitive senses. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and more. 11. Become magical. How to strengthen your gifts, protect your mind, and wield conscious force. 12. Miracles are real, divine intervention, faith portals, and supernatural reversals. 13. The chosen ones. What sets them apart and why they're always targeted. 14. The black sheep, the generational breaker, often isolated by design. 15. Targeted individuals, spiritual and technological targeting of aware souls. 16. Gang stalking, organized spiritual and psychological warfare. This is the most revealing, most spiritually advanced, and most protective series SOS has ever released. If you've ever felt something was off about this world, this will confirm it, and prepare you for what comes next. Your protection begins with knowledge. Join the SOS School of Soul Vault.